Good day everyone, and Sir Armando Robles. I am Jennifer Igano from BSBA Financial Management 1A, scheduled from Tuesday and Thursday. In this video, we are going to discuss the basic accounting equation, the T accounts, the double entry system, the normal balance, and recording transactions using T accounts. The first topic we will discuss is the basic account equation. Accounting equation is considered to be the foundation of the double entry accounting system, or double entry bookkeeping, which is used to record financial transactions. When we say bookkeeping, ito yung every accountable event mayroong dual effect, equal and opposite effect sa assets, liabilities, and equity ng business. Accounting equation is fundamental equation that represents the relationship of assets, liability, and equity. It is also called as balance sheet equation. So here are the three elements of accounting equation: the assets, liabilities, and owner's equity. And this is the accounting equation formula. Assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. So what are assets? Ano nga ba ang assets? Assets are everything that a business owns and that has future economic value. Pag sinabi nating assets, ito yung mga ari-arian or property ng isang business na napapakinabangan nila in order for them to generate revenue or to continue to operate their business. Basic example ng assets are cash, supplies, property, land, building, service vehicles, machines, and etc. What are liabilities? Liabilities are what a company owes or obligation owed to other companies or people. Ito yung present obligations ng company or business. Sa madaling salita, ito yung utang ng business. So, normal lang bang nangungutang ang isang business? Yes, normal lang sa business ang may utang. Dahil nangungutang tayo for us to continuously operate. Kasi minsan yung assets natin, hindi siya sapat para magpatuloy or mag-expand yung business. Owner's equity are commonly called capital or the amount of money that a company owner has personally invested in the company. More specifically, it's the residual interest in the assets of a business after deducting its liabilities. Ito yung personal investment ng may-ari doon sa assets ng business. Ito yung capital na ipinuhunan para sa negosyo niya. Here are the examples of basic accounting equation. Example number 1. Solen Clemente Acting Studio has a liabilities of 580,000 pesos and owner's equity of 410,000 pesos. Ang hinahanap dito ay ang assets. Kaya ang gagamitin nating formula ay assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. Base sa problem, ang liabilities ay 580,000 pesos and the owner's equity ay 410,000 pesos. So, assets equals 580,000 pesos plus 410,000 pesos ay 990,000 pesos. So, ang total assets ay 990,000 pesos. Example number 2. Chin Valencia Pest Control has assets of 670,000 pesos and owner's equity of 430,000 pesos. Ang hinahanap sa problem na ito ay ang liabilities. So, ang gagamitin nating formula ay liabilities equal assets minus owner's equity. So, according sa problem, ang assets ay 670,000 pesos and ang owner's equity ay 430,000 pesos. So, liabilities equals 670,000 pesos minus 430,000 pesos. Ang total liabilities ay 240,000 pesos. Example number 3. Rovina Desameradans has assets of 640,000 pesos and liabilities of 259,000 pesos. Ang hinahanap sa problem ay ang owner's equity. So, ang gagamitin nating formula ay ang owner's equity equals assets minus liabilities. Ang assets sa problem ay 640,000 pesos. And ang liabilities ay 259,000 pesos. So, owner's equity equals 640,000 pesos minus 259,000 pesos. Ang total owner's equity ay 381,000 pesos. Our second topic is the T account. What are T account? The T account is a visual representation of individual accounts in the form of a T, making it so that all debits and credits to the account can be easily tracked and represented visually. Also, it is simple and widely used method in accounting for representing the financial transactions of a business. The account has two sides, the debit and credit. Debits always go on the left side of the T, while the credits always go on the right side of the T. So, ito yung itsura ng T account. Makikita natin dito na ang nakalagay sa taas ay ang account's title, and sa left side ang debit, which increases to assets or expenses, and decreases to liabilities or equity. Sa right side naman ay makikita natin ang credit, which increases to liabilities or equity, and decreases to assets or expenses. Here are the example of T accounts. Madrid has the following transactions for business that provides web design services during month of June. June 2, Madrid invests 270,000 cash to start her business. So, nag-invest si Madrid na 270,000 pesos cash sa business niya. So, basically, i-record natin siya sa assets and owner's equity. I-record natin yung 270,000 pesos sa debit on cash. Dahil nadagdagan yung cash natin. And yung isang account ay i-record natin sa credit on Madrid capital. Dahil nadagdagan ang capital natin. June 4, purchase a new computer for 30,000 pesos cash to use in the web design services. Ito ay both assets and ang account title ng transactions na ito ay equipment and cash. I-record natin yung 30,000 pesos sa debit on equipment dahil nag-purchase ng new computer kaya nadagdagan yung equipment assets natin. And the other one is recorded as credit on cash dahil ang ipinangbayad natin sa pag-purchase ng equipment ay cash. June 10, bill the client 10,500 pesos for web design service performed. Ito ay assets and owner's equity. And i-record natin yung 10,500 pesos sa accounts receivable and income revenue. Sa accounts receivable ay recorded sa debit dahil nag-bill ka sa client mo. And sa income revenue is recorded sa credit dahil nadagdagan yung services ng business. June 12, purchase 3,000 pesos worth of office supplies on credit. Ito ay assets and liabilities. And ang account title ng dalawa ay equipment and accounts payable. Sa equipment ay recorded siya as debit dahil nadagdagan yung equipment ng business. And sa accounts payable is recorded as credit dahil nadagdagan din yung babayadan natin on account. June 15, paid salaries to its employees 15,700 pesos. Ito ay assets and owner's equity. I-record natin sila sa cash and salaries expense. Sa cash is recorded siya as credit dahil nabawasan yung cash natin sa pagpapasahod sa employees. And the other one is recorded sa salaries expense in debit dahil nadagdagan yung expense natin. June 16, Madrid withdrew cash for personal use 13,000 pesos. Ito ay assets and owner's equity. Recorded yung dalawang ito sa cash and Madrid withdrawals. So, cash is recorded as credit dahil nag-withdraw tayo. And in debit sa Madrid withdrawals dahil nadagdagan yung withdrawals natin. Our third topic is the double entry system. So, what is double entry system? Double entry bookkeeping is a method of recording transactions where for every business transaction, an entry is recorded in at least two accounts, as a debit or credit. In double entry system, the amounts recorded as debits must be equal to the amounts recorded as the credit. So, sa madaling salita, ang double entry system ay ang pagre-record natin ng isang transaction sa dalawang accounts. Either debit or credit siya. Pero dapat laging same amount ang i-record natin. So, here is the example of double entry system. Base salaries for employees 15,000 pesos. I-record natin ito sa two accounts. Ito ay ang assets and owner's equity. Sa assets ay ang cash, which is recorded ang 15,000 pesos sa credit dahil nabawasan yung cash natin sa pagpapasweldo ng empleyado, and sa owner's equity ay sa salaries expense, which is recorded ng 15,000 pesos sa debit dahil nadagdagan yung expense ng business. Our fourth topic is the normal balance of accounts. What is normal balance of accounts? The normal balance is the balance that the account is expected to have based on its classification, and it represents the side of the account where increases or decreases are recorded. So, dito malalaman natin ang normal balance ng bawat accounts. So, ang normal balance ng assets ay increase in debit and decrease in credit. While sa liabilities naman ay increase in credit and decrease in debit. And then sa capital or equity ay increase in credit and decrease in debit. Sa revenue is increase in credit and decrease in debit. And lastly sa expenses, increase in debit and decrease in credit. So, ayan yung mga normal balance ng bawat accounts na dapat nating laging tandaan. So, our last topic is the recording transactions using key accounts. Ano nga ba ang recording transactions using key accounts? Recording transactions using key accounts is a way of visually representing the transactions of a business in an organized and structured manner. Here are the example transactions. Valencia has a following transactions for business DRV Technology during the month of September. September 1, Valencia invests 500,000 pesos cash to start her business. So, nag-invest daw ng cash si Valencia to start her business. So, i-record natin ang 500,000 pesos sa cash and Valencia capital. Debit in cash dahil nadagdagan yung cash natin, and credit in Valencia capital dahil nadagdagan din ang capital ng business natin. September 2, paid rent for the month 30,000 pesos. Nagbayad tayo ng rent for the month. So, i-record natin siya sa cash and rent expense. Yung cash natin ay mababawasan dahil nagbayad tayo ng rent. Kaya, i-record natin siya sa credit in cash. At yung isang account naman ay i-record natin sa debit in rent expense dahil nadagdagan yung expense natin. September 9, acquired computer equipment for 300,000 pesos. Bumili tayo ng computer equipment at ang ipinangbayad natin ay cash. So basically, i-record natin siya sa cash and computer equipment. I-record natin ang 300,000 pesos sa cash bilang credit in cash dahil cash ang ipinangbayad natin at debit naman sa computer expense dahil nadagdagan yung equipment na business natin. September 12, purchase computer equipment on credit 40,000 pesos. So, nag-purchase ulit tayo ng computer equipment. Pero ngayon, sa credit natin siya binayaran. Pag sinabi natin on credit, i-record natin siya sa account payable. So, dahil nadagdagan na naman ng equipment, i-record natin ang 40,000 pesos sa debit on computer equipment and credit on accounts payable. September 13, receive payment from a client for programming performed, 180,000 pesos. Ngayon naman ay naka-receive tayo ng payment sa client natin for programming service natin. I-record ngayon natin siya sa cash and accounts revenue, debit on cash and credit on income revenue. September 16, Build a client on completion of programming project, 50,000 pesos. So, nag-build tayo sa client para sa natapos nating programming project na nagkakahalagang 50,000 pesos. So, i-record natin siya sa accounts receivable and income revenue. So, yung 50,000 pesos ay ilalagay natin sa debit on accounts receivable and credit on income revenue. September 23, paid salaries for the month, 60,000 pesos. Nagpasweldo tayo ngayon sa employees natin ng 60,000 pesos. So, mababawasan ang cash natin. Kaya recorded siya sa credit on cash. While sa salaries expense naman ay recorded sa debit on salaries expense dahil nadagdagan yung expense ng business. September 28, receive a partial payment from the client billed on September 16, 40,000 pesos. So, naka-receive tayo ng partial payment from our client. Kaya, i-record natin siya as debit in cash dahil nadagdagan ang cash natin and credit on accounts receivable dahil nabawasan na yung i-receive nating pera. 29. Made a partial payment on equipment purchase, 73,000 pesos. So, tayo naman ngayon na nagbigay ng partial payment sa pinagkunan natin ng equipment. Kaya recorded siya as credit on cash and debit on accounts payable dahil nabawasan na yung babayaran natin. September 30, withdraw 25,000 pesos for personal expenses. So, nag-withdraw tayo ngayon ng 25,000 pesos. Kaya, i-record natin siya as credit on cash dahil nabawasan yung cash natin and debit on financial withdrawals dahil nadagdagan yung withdrawals natin.